Senator Peters. Senator Graham.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Attorney General, I think you're doing a fantastic job. I want to say that to you and to your team.
Thank you.
And kind of lay out sort of where I think we're going here. The threat level to this country is pretty high. Do you agree?
Yes, Senator.
Every time I turn around, there seems to be a new threat coming our way, and we're just going to have to meet the moment, and I think we will. So one thing I want you to reconsider is I think there was some termination of protective details for people that were targeted for assassination by the Iranians because of the role they played in the first term. Pompeo, Secretary Pompeo, and others. I'd urge you to reconsider that, sit down with the intel folks, because I think the threat level is pretty high, and that's just something for you to take back. I think Iran does want to hurt our country. Now, back to lawlessness, that was mentioned. Can you very briefly give me the scope of the problem you've had to deal with just on illegal immigration? Yeah, I think, yeah.
The drugs.
Enormous.
The drugs, the guns, the terrorists coming into our country. I just say this because it's relevant to where we're sitting. 20 minutes away, we arrested one of the highest level members of one of the biggest gangs in the country living in Virginia. And that was through a task force that we set up with Governor Youngkin, with state, local, and federal law enforcement agencies working together.
Would you say it's been a big mountain and you're climbing it?
It's been a monument. It's been Mount Everest.
Okay.
It is monumental. It is
so
monumental.
Let us help you climb Mount Everest. Mr. Hallman said that if we don't get more money into the system, we're going to hit a wall in terms of the president's promise to deport people that shouldn't be here and represent a danger. Do you agree with that, that ICE needs more funding?
Always, yes.
Okay. So reconciliation is on the way, but I just want everybody to understand, you support the president's border security budget.
I do, and Senator, the big beautiful bill gives $500 million to us, to Department of Justice, to combat drug trafficking.
Well, we're gonna start the big beautiful bill, and we ain't leaving town.
$600 million for prosecute immigration matters, which are really all the issues that Senator Peters had discussed with me, and $950 million to reimburse non-sanctuary states and locals for cost that they've incurred, and $1.25 billion for other immigration issues. And I would urge everyone to support the Senate's version, which is much greater for Department of Justice than the House's version of one big beautiful bill. And I think that goes back to what Senator Van Hollen was discussing too, increasing our public safety, as well as you, Senator Moran. So thank you all for that. Thank you, Senator Graham.
As the Senate Budget Chairman, I think I will support our version of it. And I think it's needed, you know, I'm not be joking about it. I think it's very much needed. The budget you propose will be reworked. Do you understand that we have a say in this, right?
Yes.
Okay. If we give you more money, do you think you could use it wisely?
We will always be a good steward of your money. we will put law enforcement officers on the street.
This whole DEA thing, I don't know who's thinking about that, but that just makes like 0 sense to me. We'd want to be cutting the DA now and putting ATF over the DA. So, you know, we'll agree to disagree, and I just think you're doing a great job, but that's the way our system works. We may have a different view of things, and we'll work together. I trust your judgment very, very much so. Is Mexico helping us with the drug problem?
Senator, that might be a conversation to better have in a classified setting.
Okay, well, here's what I want to say publicly. No, you're not. You need to, you know, half your country is run by the cartels. We're never going to be safe here until we get Mexico to change their game. I'll be glad to talk to you in a private session, but enough with Mexico. You need to up your game.
The Sinaloa cartels have wreaked havoc on our country, and they continue to wreak havoc on our country.
Enough of that crap.
And the fentanyl coming in.
Yeah, we're coming after them with Mexico's help or without their help, because I don't know what the right response is to a neighbor that allows this kind of lawlessness to come into our country and kill more young people than any other method, more people dying from fentanyl poisoning coming from Mexico than anything else. And, you know, that just needs to stop very quickly. Back to Iran. They have sleeper cells, we think, here?
We have thus far arrested 1,500 illegal Iranians in our country. That is something that I would like to talk about in a classified setting.
So
but yes, have they invaded our country?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You said Iran's a threat to America. When people chant death to America, that's kind of a tip-off they're a threat to our country, right?
And to our Jewish population,
Yeah,
yes.
well, to all of us. And when they swore in the recent president in July of last year, during the swearing in of the president of Iran, they were chanting death to America. So that kind of tells me where they're coming from. I guess the point I'm trying to make is Iran is threatening us in many, many ways. I do not want to live my life or our country's life giving in to bullies and religious Nazis. We're coming after your regime to change it. Nobody wants regime change for the sake of regime change. I want the regime to change its behavior. I want them to stop the policy of killing all the Jews in Israel, reject that policy. I want them to be better neighbors for the world at large. I want them to change their behavior. And if you don't want them to change their behavior, that's weird because they kill their own people. They're hanging people in squares today. They're very oppressive. They're very brutal. They've been trying to build a nuclear weapon, and they want to use it against the people of Israel and us. So my last point is, when it comes to Iran, can you say to the Iranian regime, you will not intimidate us to do what's best to help Israel in our own national security? We're not going to be intimidated.
I think Donald Trump has said that loud and clear. We will not be intimidated, and we will keep America safe thanks to the leadership of President Trump, not only from Iran, but from Russia, from China, and from Mexico, from any foreign adversary, whether they're trying to kill us physically or by overdosing our children with drugs. We're going to do everything in our power, thanks to his leadership, to keep America safe.
Outstanding. Thank you, Mr.